It's a me, Scadio. Alongside me, as always, is Ryan, then Davian Bossy, and of course, Mr. JT McGuire. And welcome to Tales of the Film Say. Yahoo! Wahoo! Okay, enough of that before basically I get.
The sad thing is, you sounded more like a guy doing a leprechaun accent than you sounded like
Those are
Mario.
always just to be Lucky Charms, aren't you? You're not bastard, are you? You know,
Oh, wait. Hold up.
stripes, yellow balloons.
I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room for a minute. You try to ban me from being Michelangelo last episode. Now you get to do voices. Like, come on, where's the fairness in that?
Because I run the show, I run the company. It's my call.
Vince McMahon.
Oh God. Okay, all right. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's a good compliment right there. You know, still better than Pratt. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We are, by the way, going to be talking about, as you probably already imagined, the Super Mario Brothers movie that is going to be coming out actually on Wednesday, surprising us a little bit by coming out a little early. Predictions on that, preview of that, what we expect. My question for you guys, I'll ask, eventually, is will this actually redeem the movie from 30 years ago and suddenly make it maybe not suck? But before we get to that, gentlemen, how are you?
Pretty good. Just had a rousing conversation about WrestleMania on our other show, The Sports Den. If you want to go ahead after this, you can go ahead check that out.
By the way, I love the fact that you said our show. I really appreciate that, dude.
Well, I mean, ours as in Stream Punk. I mean, again, I wasn't trying to monopolize the show with wrestling talk. It's obviously a show that doesn't normally talk about wrestling, but Lord knows we did it for over an hour.
Talking about wrestling. Leave me out of the conversation in the cold.
Dude, I watched it with you last night, all right? Don't start with me.
So you should have been there to tell me that you were going to talk about it on Sports Den today.
I was working all day. Driving around. Not exactly makes me viable for conversation.
I'm kidding.
Why is it every time JT and I are on the same panel, we start fighting over something?
By the way,
we don't always fight.
JT, it's really good to have you back.
We do.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking Mario tonight. Rob Manning, by the way, is on standby right now, so I'm going to let you guys know about that. But we're going to be talking Mario tonight. We're going to be talking Mario through the years, Mario with trivia, Mario with voices, Mario with Milli Vanilli. Which I do
Mario on Ice.
I remember Mario with Milli Vanilli, yes.
Yes.
Oh, God, he was with Milli Vanilli.
Yes, he was. And I'll just cut right to the chase on that one before we get to it. The reason that they could not sing after they were kidnapped is because they did not have their band with them. That was the reason that Milli Vanilli was unable to sing and perform basically after being kidnapped.
You sure ain't something else?
That was the reason that they had given well before anybody was even aware of the fact that basically there was an issue with Milli Vanilli.
Yes, the Super Mario World, because the one Koopa kid was a fan.
Whatever her name is, that Wendy, I think was it.
It was Wendy, yes.
It was actually voiced by Robin Fab. It was like one of the only cameo appearances they ever did. Wow. And of all the things that they could do, why would they do this one? The hell if I know. So
there was a Saturday morning cartoon. It was for the kids.
Yeah,
for the kids.
But yes, the Milli Vanilli shirt there. Apparently you can buy the Milli Vanilli shirt on like Cafe Press.
Oh, I love you.
we can't sing it, so it's
Blame it on the rain.
And basically we're demonetized right there.
Wait, those shoulder pad vest jackets, like,
dude, it was the late 80s, early 90s, whatever year this was, 90, 91, maybe something like that.
And before Peach was blonde.
Yes. And back then she was still Princess Toadstool too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no.
And King Koopa.
Yes. It wasn't Bowser back then either. But yeah, so we're going to be talking Mario tonight. We're going to be bringing up some cool little factoids and whatnot.
See Tyler here. Why?
But I was going to say, Tyler's putting in some overtime right now.
Yeah.
So Tyler basically did the other show too. So
Tyler, after this,
Mario,
go make a sandwich, drink some milk, take a rest.
So you just tell him to go make a sandwich? How dare you?
For himself, not make me a sandwich.
No, but
I'll take a sandwich. I haven't eaten since like 2. Do you want to make me a sandwich?
You tell him to go.
Mario in that picture looks like he needs a sandwich.
So, yes.
Yeah, he's a pretty slim plumber, from what we've seen.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. We got 6 people. We got 6 people on that one. Holy crap! This is a cramped little space here. So
which one of us is really Italian? Make your picks.
Do.
Yes,
you're really.
Yeah. Do you see the pasty white, the translucent skin right here? Granted, I grew up in Jersey, but y'all bastards are way more tan than I am.
2%. 2%.
Oh yeah. You're 2%. Is that according to Ancestry?
Yep.
Okay. Well, actually, yeah, I was gonna say I'm like 3% Viking or something, or like Norse.
5% Scottish.
You did say you had part Scott in you, so you're mulatto then? I guess technically, you're just,
Okay, well, they're talking about something completely different. Rob,
yes.
Since we have you here and you're basically our voiceover interviewer guy.
Thank you, Tyler.
I have to ask you, Rob, what do you think about the voice cast for this movie, considering there are definitely some inspired choices like Jack Black for Bowser, but then, yes, there's Chris Pratt for Mario.
I'll give my honest opinion because that's what we're about the show is giving our honest opinion.
Yeah, sure, of course.
I am scared to watch this movie. And I'll give you I'll give you the reason why. It's because of how much cast members they put like all big names. And I'm sorry, as a person that's met Charles Martinet multiple times, I really wish they would have kept him as Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I know there is supposed to be a cameo. There better be because they did say he was going to be a cameo, but I really wish they would have kept him. I did see Chris Pratt recently saying a statement was like, if you have beef about the whole thing, first watch the movie and then, tell me your opinion.
Which is not wrong.
No, because we really only know so much about Mario. So, and he does, even though he said he wasn't going to do an Italian accent, I did see him do in an interview. He was doing his woohoos and all that.
Yeah.
It didn't sound as bad as I thought it was going to be honest. Not obviously as good as Charles Martinet, but
Mario.
Yes.
Mario.
Let's go. I'm a Luigi.
Oh my God.
That's not me.
That's the Chris Pratt coming over.
I'm a Wario. I'm not gonna win.
Who's is it someone's microphone?
What's up?
We hear a bad skeet. At least I do.
It's not my microphone because I turned mine down.
All right, I'm gonna start muting people.
Not mine.
I'm muting myself first. Go ahead, guys.
And it was
Scott.
It's you. It's you.
It was me.
It's you.
Still you.
Is it still me?
Yeah,
it's still you.
What are you guys getting?
Like a
you know those tests when you were in grade school when they would put the earmuffs on you and then they do the little beeps and you'd have to raise your hand as to which one you heard it on?
Is it still there?
Yes. And so my hands are going like this.
Reset your microphone.
Yes, sir. Right back.
Okay.
Okay. So JT, as our resident big gamer.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
I lost.
I would definitely say JT out of probably all of us is the bigger of the video game people. What's your thoughts on this movie? I mean, you've seen the trailers. You've seen how accurate it's trying to be with a lot of the settings and all that. Even with the music, you can hear it in there. Thoughts?
I'm interested in seeing it. I think I was the first person to say it when the rest of you people on this panel were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna suck. Oh, it's gonna bomb." I've been saying I want to see this. I will be on there. I will be there Wednesday watching this movie.
So whoa! You heard me say it's gonna be horrible?
I only recall me being the only positive one on this film. Maybe you did, but I just recall. I recall everyone else saying this is going to bomb.
I just said Chris Pratt. I ain't say the movie was going to bomb like it was in the 1994 movie. I just said Chris Pratt is going to fail as Mario, but the movie itself is going to be great.
Maybe it was just Scott. He's not here anymore, so I could just blame him.
So to go back with why I was saying I was scared and why I was saying because it's got so many big names is because like we had the movie Scoop. I still will not watch that because they did not have Matthew Lillard as Shaggy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they put who? Will Forte, I think it was.
Yeah, they put a bunch of big names over like the characters, and you still had all the regular voice actors that could have still did it. You got like Zac Efron as Fred, and I'm sorry if you're gonna have someone do Shaggy, do someone that sounds like Shaggy. Like when I watched the trailer, I turned it off because within 30 seconds of hearing that trailer, I'm sorry, Shaggy sounds more like a Fred to me than a Shaggy.
I can see that.
Like this is Shaggy. Like Zoink Scoob. Like Bunny Old Mouse. Sorry, my voice is out.
Wow, that was not bad.
That was good.
Dude,
that was like a nice blend of the original Casey Kasem with Lillard.
Like Mary Jane. Like that's my favorite name, man. Like my voice is out today, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Good.
I don't know what the hell happened there. It's the same setup I always had.
At the same time, you knocked out Rob.
You knocked out Rob.
I was terrified to come back in. I have no idea what the hell happened there. It's the same setup I always do.
So it's funny you mentioned. So we started talking about the Scoob movie, Scott, because I was saying how like the Scoob movie they overcasted it.
I heard you on that. Yeah, I was following behind the scenes.
And that's why I was scared with this Mario movie because, you know, you have such a beloved character, but it's getting voiced by someone that, one, doesn't want to do an Italian accent. I'm not saying the movie's going to be terrible. I am going to go watch it just so then I can give my opinion, you know, and I hope it's good. But we did mention Matthew Lillard for a second. I got to meet him this last weekend at Horror Hound. And I got him to sign, which is already signed by Brendan Fraser and Billy West. And what's cool is when I got him to sign it, I'll pull it out of the bag real quick. He signed it on the back, wrote first signed, wrote the date, and then signed it again.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Hold on, put that back up. Put that back up for a second. Caramel Apple Pop Blizzard.
I had nothing on that.
But yeah, he
first
signed, and quick story, not trying to take over because I know we're here to talk about Mario, but it was funny is I did my Shaggy impression. I was doing it for people in the crowd, and he heard me from a distance because I was in his line, and he looks at me and says, "Are you trying to take my job?" He's like, "I don't come to your house and crap on your carpet." And it was just...
Which he would do if he was still doing his SLC Punk days, but still.
Now, I will say for the record, though, I have to clarify. While that is a good line, the line Ted Raimi gave you was better.
Well, I will say he also called me an effing elf.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Yes, what Ted said to me. Well, I'm also doing a Steve from Blue's Clues cosplay right now.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah, that's
Blue's Clues.
Oh, there's a Blue. All right.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
But yeah, getting back to Mario here.
But yeah, so the Mario, I'm a huge Mario fan. I have, if I would have thought about, if I knew I wasn't feeling good today, so I didn't even know if I was going to jump on. But if I knew, we're not going to talk about my eyes. That's why I'm from a distance.
No. With the Shaggy voice, it all blends together, really. You know,
it's glaucoma, Scoob.
Oh, it's like Scoob. Oh, I just saw a monster.
Monster Doobie. What are you talking about, monster?
Well, listen, better Shaggy than Norval.
Yeah.
Although he was the only character on
No. The series is over. Over. I'm not even thinking about
over, but not forgotten, sadly. Anyway.
So I've had a pleasure to meet Charles Martinet a couple times at the original voice, and the first voice for Mario, and I have like the first 5 issues of Mario signed by him.
He's Luigi too, right?
Yes, he's done Luigi, Waluigi. Wario. I mean, he did all those characters, right?
Was he the games too?
Yeah.
Basically, I think. Which I think that might be who he's voices in the movie. I think he might be either a Wario or a Waluigi.
Yeah.
Like an end credit sort of thing.
I was wondering if they would just have him as himself. Like, I know he's making a cameo. It'd be funny if we had a human just walk on the screen and say, "It's me."
Well, like Michael B. Jordan showing up in Space Jam too.
Oh no, we don't talk.
No, Jesus.
We brought you Michael Jordan.
No, here's the thing I will say about Charles Martinet. Here's the thing. Now, I can understand why a lot of people would have preferred that he actually go ahead and voice Mario for this movie. Here's the problem. How old is Charles Martinet?
Why does that matter?
Yeah, exactly.
It matters.
I can do the voice.
Fact that if you're going to go ahead and you're finally, after all these years, going to make a Mario movie after the bomb that we had back with Bob Hoskins, people aren't going to think about making just one movie. They're going to think about making a franchise, making spin-offs, finally breaking this curse of video game movies, which means you're going to want a voice cast that is going to be able to be around for the long haul. Had they made this movie even just 10 years ago, then yes, I would say put on Charles Martinet. But now I can't feasibly see them using someone of his age for more than maybe just a few years. Once they finally get to like the time they finally make a sequel, Martinet may be just too far gone.
Here's the other thing. Brandon Kay had a really good point on
Wait. Charles Martinet is only 67 years old.
Oh, okay. Oh, screw it.
Ed Asner was going all the way into his 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and he's still live appearance too.
And the last thing, a lot of people have been hating it, but I was told that was his actual voice. Is we're getting the Carl Dates or something like that series, and that is Ed Asner's last appearance as Carl.
Well, Brandon brought up the point when it came to Mario is that while Mario as JT, if you can play a sound effect, please, as Mario.
Is that all we brought JT on for?
Me, Mario.
While that is good in a video game setting, for a 2-hour movie, hearing something like that long might actually be a little bit of ear rape. And I think Brandon's got a point. If you got to hear that for 2 hours.
See, now it just sounds like we're doing the Super Mario Adult Brothers movie. It's like, just keep going like that for like 5 minutes.
Rule 34 of the internet, sir. I'm sure it is.
We don't talk about the 80s.
No, we don't not talk about the Mario movie that came out.
Wait, what?
What now?
Mom said she likes the live action Mario movie, so we don't talk about that movie.
Okay, let me just point out.
I liked it when
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo took liquor shots between takes.
I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie when I was 7 years old. I actually didn't hate that movie. I liked that movie. I watched it in the theaters. I watched it when it came out on VHS. I watched it when it played over and over again on TV. It wasn't until years later that someone explained this is a bad movie. As a kid, I loved that film.
Exactly.
Yeah, the beauty of it was that even at the time when that movie came out, there was still so little lore about Mario and Luigi and King Koopa and everything that you could take that kind of artistic license if you wanted to make it kind of like in the realm of like a 90s sci-fi film, which is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like you take away all the Mario stuff and it would have been a film to stand on its own.
Right.
Well, it was written by people who didn't really understand Mario, as in like that picture right there.
Right, and that's fair, but there also wasn't that much to understand about Mario. There was no way you were going to make a movie about a guy running from level to level, stomping on mushrooms.
Which is pretty bad considering the fact that at that point there were four games. And there was still no plot.
Well, but now look at everything we have. Basically, the animation that we're getting from Illuminations is on par with the cinematics that you get in the game. If you look at like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario, what is it?
Play tennis.
No, Strikers, Mario Party, Mario Kart, all of the animation for that stuff, whether it be in still Smash Brothers, it's all cinematic quality. I mean, don't do live action, sure, but for CGI animated, perfect.
Now, in this case, one of the things, I don't know if you guys knew about this one from 1993. Dennis Hopper's daughter, she asked him, she's like, why did you do that movie? And he said, well, to make sure that you have, we can afford shoes for you. And she's like, Daddy, I don't need shoes that badly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Conan O'Brien's show. He said that on.
Was it Conan? Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I mean, the stories behind the scenes since then have come out, including the fact that the directing team of it were like in the middle of a freaking divorce. Plus, we're crazy. Plus, we're hurting people on the set and getting fights in the producers. So there was no direction that was solid. And then, as you said, the two leads are getting drunk on set because it's such a disaster, and the script is changing all the time.
But in a lot of ways, it launched John Leguizamo's career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was kind of his first big-ish movie.
And without that movie, he wouldn't be Sid the Sloth.
Without that movie, he would not have punched out like the kid who killed John Wick's dog.
Actually, isn't that the same year that Carlos Way came out?
I don't know.
Now, I will say,
when did The Pest come out?
2 years later.
Okay.
We don't talk about The Pest.
Carlito's Way was 1993. You're right.
This wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. I defended the Super Mario. Day is going to defend The Pest.
And then there was Moulin Rouge, where he played like the narcoleptic Argentinian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his best was Chichi Rodriguez and Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know he was in Die Hard too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
All right. So I'm going to toss this at you guys.
As we get sidetracked.
Which is what we do when we have this many people talking about an animated movie.
Yes.
First animated first animated Mario. Donkey Kong was voiced by comedian Subri Sales. Can you give me who the voice of Mario was on this, and even better, what the name of the cartoon show was? I remember it.
Well, I hope so.
Gorilla?
No.
Super Mario and Friends or Mario and Friends?
No, it was a compilation.
I think it was like, wasn't it something? It was like that, and it was another video game animated show to go along with it.
There was like a cacophony of stuff from Kangaroo to Space Ace to Pitfall to Q*bert. It was Saturday Supercade. Saturday Supercade was the name of the cartoon.
Oh.
Supercade, right?
Yeah. The voice of Mario would be well known probably 3 years later for voicing a Transformer.
Peter Cullen?
Bingo.
Mm.
I know my voice actors.
Yes.
My name is Mario.
Yeah, they were trying to catch him and bring him back to the circus. And that was the whole thing, the crux of every episode of it. So,
wow. So wait, who played the girl then?
It was somebody named Jane Stagnus, somebody that didn't have a lot of stuff in there. I did find out though, the Saturday Supercade. If you remember the video game Space Ace, the Bluth one, the voice of Kimberly on that was a then unknown Nancy Cartwright. She didn't even do Twilight Zone yet.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a lot of names in the show that, again, I remember it as a kid, but there was a lot of names in there that like they went on to bigger and better. So what's that?
When you said Nancy, you're talking about Bart Simpson, right?
Yeah.
She just went her first con this last weekend. Steel City Con.
Cool.
Took a picture with Danhausen.
But yeah, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, they had like a lock when it came to like video game cartoon adaptations. They did Dust. They did I think there was a Donkey Kong Jr. one.
There was a year after
that.
Yeah.
They did
Kangaroos in there.
They even did like, I think they did a Q*bert one, didn't they?
They did, yes.
Yeah.
And
Q*bert doesn't even talk.
And they gave him like a 1950s setting where they gave him like a 50s jacket and everything.
Yeah, but was he still talking gibberish? Like,
yeah, he was. So
no cursing.
No cursing. So
who was cursing? I was going.
Damn.
Swiper, no swearing.
The shit if I know. All right.
I was gonna say I'm excited. Dallas Fan Expo that I'm going to in June is gonna Mario, Bowser, and Princess Peach, and I'm not talking about for the movie that's coming out, but the original voices.
Oh,
okay. Peachy.
Wait, who's the voice for Bowser and Princess Peach in the video games?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I have to bring it up after
Like if they were noteworthy, I would say put them in the movie too, but they don't come to mind. Like anytime you hear about like the video games for like, you know, whether it be like anything Mario oriented, the only voice actor I ever hear about is Charles Martinet. But obviously, there's got to be some other ones, even if it's just making the grunts of Bowser or the.
Samantha Kelly is the main voice
Peach or someone
for Peach and Toad, which kind of makes sense, and Toadette too. But
I would see that because all you need is someone who can do high pitched noises, and that's it.
Yeah, and Lord knows that Toad can do that. Ugh.
Oh, even in the animated series, Toad was. Toad was the most annoying character.
Scott Burns was the original voice, and then now it's Ken James who's the voice of Bowser.
Ken James. Why does that sound familiar?
Michael Key and Peele.
No, we're talking the games themselves.
Oh, the games.
Kenny Jones and Samantha Kelly is who's going to be there as Princess Peach and Bowser.
Okay. And it's $20 for every time she says Peachy.
Wow.
Peachy.
If anyone does need any autographs for those two people, or even Mario himself, just message me.
No, to me, there's only one Mario, and that's Albano. The Mario. By the way, if you notice from this picture here, this is from Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and the guest playing Inspector Gadget, by the way,
that's what I was about to say.
Is the then unknown Maurice LaMarche, who would later go on to play Brain in Pinky the Brain.
Right, but he was the original voice of Inspector Gadget, wasn't he?
No, that was Don Adams from.
Get Smart. Okay.
I just want to pull the picture closer. Don Adams was also from
Get Smart.
Thank you, Get Smart. Yes, I was trying to draw a blank.
And fun fact, Maurice LaMarche is the belch in Elf. When Buddy does the like that.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Will Ferrell, that is Maurice LaMarche.
Yes,
yeah,
because in Animaniacs,
some voice actors they just get cast to do like the most random things.
He also does Orson. He also in the Ed Wood movie, he was the voice for Orson Welles.
Oh wow. Yeah, I came up to him as Buddy the Elf, and he's like, "You don't want me to do the burp scene, would you?" And he let me film him for free. Normally, he would charge like $60 for that, and he told his agent no. And then he's like, "Imagine yourself drinking Coke or something." So I go, "Gook, gook, gook, gook," and then I flip it back to him, and he goes,
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to throw one more Super Mario Brothers Super Show thing at you.
Yes, please.
This one, by the way, before I hit play on it, if you see in the back here, I'm going to move it this way, I think. Okay, if you look in the back there is a plant monster. As you can see, the plant monster there is currently strangling Luigi in an uncomfortable way and now chasing him around the apartment. Do you want to know who basically played the plant monster in this episode?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What's that?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Nope. Anybody else?
No.
Is he much taller than both of them?
He's a little bit taller. I don't know his actual height, but I have the screenshot saved.
Because part of me wants to say Brad Garrett.
No.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll take one more answer, by the way, and then before I give it to you.
I said it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Huh.
What?
Oh, who's that?
If you look at his IMDb, it is in fact Patrick Dempsey was the plant that chased Luigi around in the apartment.
He went from McSeaweed to McDreamy.
Oh God, I know. I found that out earlier. I told you guys on the Facebook group page. I'm like, I am looking forward as hell to tell you guys this. But yeah, prior to him doing Grey's Anatomy, winning a SAG award, doing Enchanted, he was the giant plant monster chasing around Mario and Luigi in an apartment.
Even just doing Loverboy, like God.
But yeah, you got that face to do that outfit.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone starts somewhere, but
yeah.
Damn.
The only thing on part of that is basically you remember when Bryan Cranston was like, was a monster on Power Rangers.
That's he did those like voiceovers.
This I think is worse though. This, I think, is 100% worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like, Bryan Cranston is actually in the costumes.
Yeah.
He was just doing the voiceover for the,
but
the
Bryan
voices of the
Cranston,
monster.
though, I mean, he kind of worked his way up between like Seinfeld and like Hal, in Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
Before, I mean, Patrick Dempsey, he went to like Grey's Anatomy and exploded. And yeah, this.
You had to start somewhere.
You do indeed, and I'm pretty sure it was a
does.
non-union contract. So
When your first starting gig doesn't even show your face.
yeah,
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
there. I'll give you Ernie Hudson instead.
Oh, as a pseudo Ghostbuster?
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell the budget quality of this. It's I mean, what the hell is he even holding?
I don't know. It looks like a toy that they just put some duct tape on.
Right.
Yeah. This is around the same time that he did Ghostbusters 2 too, so
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. You couldn't really have any trademarked characters come onto this thing per se.
Yeah.
They had to do like versions of.
But yeah, anyway, back to
all these quips and everything aside, it's like I will still go see the movie. I think it's proper timing. There's not going to be a lot of kids stuff coming out anytime soon. A lot of horror movies, but not a lot of kids movies. So I think it'll do pretty well. My whole thing is, I feel like they're going to be a lot more critical of this just because of the subject matter. They're not going to say, oh, it's perfect just because it's Mario.
No.
They're going to scrutinize this to hell.
Right.
I think
So
also
if there is anything bad, it's going to be like nitpicky stuff.
And Chris Pratt's no longer the darling he used to be. For a while there, everybody loved him in every way, and now people are kind of like tired of him.
Well, yeah, because they put him in everything. He's oversaturated.
Yes, I mean there was a push to get Pedro Pascal to redo the voices.
Now, see,
What?
that's interesting.
Yeah, there was. It was on Twitter. It was trending on Twitter because of his appearance on SNL as Mario.
Oh, really?
Oh, because of that one skit?
One skit, yeah, and fans didn't want to see Chris Pratt, especially after the trailer, because listen, we did a react to that trailer, and the first thing when we heard him be like, "Let's go," all of us kind of groaned in unison about how brutal that was.
Yeah,
well, I would have been fine if you had at least gotten somebody that had like some voiceover experience doing other voices. Chris Pratt, whenever he's done voiceover, he's always
Chris
been
Pratt because it's Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Listen, people complain way too much these days about.
That's why we have the
Stop
show.
bitching about
A few years ago, I was cool with that, but now I'm not talking about like a podcast like this should. It's like everyone in a unified voice just always like, we don't like this. Change it now, or we'll ruin your careers. Just shut up.
Well, because it worked with Sonic, so now they know they have some potential power.
And Twitter in general.
And I love what Disney did with Ugly Sonic in the Chip and Dale movie.
Yeah.
They gave you end up loving Ugly Sonic at the end of the movie.
You feel bad for it, like you feel bad for like an injured dog.
Sad. Better put it out of its misery.
You look at it, you're like, I feel kind of bad that I ripped on it now.
Well, Disney did give us Old Yeller, and we know how that ended. So.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
All right, yeah, Old Yeller and Marley and Me.
Was everybody seeing this week?
I won't be. I got to cover NYC.
I'll see it. I'll see it.
I'll see it.
Yeah. Whoever wants to do recordings and shit. I mean, poop.
No, I work Wednesday, so I'll just go see it right after work.
It'd be nice that you guys get it Wednesday. My theater won't have it until Friday.
Wait, what?
That's because
you won't have it till Friday?
We never do. We our theater used to do like midnight releases and stuff like that back in the day. Like I remember going to go see like Twilight and the Hunger Games on midnight releases, but
pre-COVID, yes,
it stopped. After COVID, and they stopped. So yeah, I won't get it until Friday.
Yeah, we've got. I don't know how well you can see this right here, but we've got starting 11:30 on Wednesday.
Wow.
Well, again, because they're trying to get those younger kids from spring break to go see it.
Actually, we got 12:01. We got 12:01 on Wednesday too.
Yeah, no. They're going to get them this week. They're going to probably have like at least a good 100 million opening for the weekend, for 5-day weekend, if you want to count it as such. And then it'll probably have legs for the rest of the month of April.
Now, let me ask you this. In all fairness, what kind of box office do you think? I'm going to throw this all 5 of you guys, or all 4 of you guys. What box office do you think it needs to be a success, and what box office do you think it's going to get? Because honestly, I don't really think it's going to actually be the smash that they're counting on. I think it'll be okay.
What was the budget on the movie?
You know what? I'll look that up in the meantime.
Same. Hold on. You guys talk. I'll look.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, if they would have done advertisement very well with this film, I think it could have regained its money.
Well, is it me, or is a lot of the films in recent months just doing very poorly in the box office?
They are.
Like Shazam just did really poorly. Was there any other big blockbusters that came out recently that was so-so?
I was gonna say Dungeons and Dragons just beat John Wick this last weekend.
Right, it did do
how much?
above projections, but that was only even like 35 million.
No, it got 35 above million, like of what they spent, because it was recorded today. Dungeons and Dragons made like 135 million or something like that.
That's probably global. In the U.S., it only made about like 35. John Wick made about 25.
Yeah.
Which again, those are not good numbers.
Those are not good numbers.
True.
They're not releasing. I'm not able to find the budget on this movie because they probably don't want to release it. Right
IMDb doesn't have the budget.
Budget didn't have it. Numbers didn't have it. Wikipedia didn't have it.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah,
I didn't have a problem.
I think the thing is, like back in the day, you would have 1 or 2 big blockbuster films a year, and now that everyone's doing the big blockbusters, they're not getting the same returns. So instead of getting your $60,000 to $100 million movies, now you're getting maybe $30 million.
And maybe with Pratt fans, they're holding off another month of Guardians 3.
That too. And you got 3 other big movies coming out this summer. You got Fast and Furious 10. You've got Transformers Beast Wars looks really good. And then you've got the trailer just got released today. I don't know what you guys thought about it. I actually just met the kid last weekend, but Blue Beetle was released today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
And I actually got
fun.
I can't say his name, but I got to meet the actual actor from Cobra Kai, and he's in that.
Just call him Miguel. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I admit, I'm not the average person. I'm an introvert. I like being left alone. I don't like going out anymore. But, I still like going to movies if I'm really excited to see a film. And I got to say, like, nothing coming out recently I'm in the least bit interested in seeing. Blue Beetle looks cool, but, I didn't grow up watching stuff about Blue Beetle or reading Blue Beetle comic books.
Right.
So, and I don't think a lot of other people were too. I don't think there ever was a TV show until maybe recently about Blue Beetle. So I don't know how that's going to do.
No,
Guardians, the last time there was a Guardians film was a few years ago, and it's the last one. But, Marvel's been doing very poorly recently and hurting their stock. I don't know if that's going to do very well. And what was the other ones in there? Fast Furious, which is a popcorn film. I mean, those are starting to get a little tired at this point.
But it's the last one.
And
it is the last.
No, there's 2 more. There's 1 more after this.
Oh, is it a part 1 and a part 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a debate of what we thought were going to happen with this, but this is the second to last one, and then the inevitable spin-offs. And not the cartoon series that they had yesterday.
What was the last one in there? Transformers? That was wasn't that the nostalgia kick of the 1980s? Wasn't that my generation when we were in our 20s going, ooh, it'd be great if we could come back and see these films? And then we got tired of it after 3 years, and the second sequel really sucked.
Well, the reason why I enjoyed the Beast Wars trailer, it's because you've got Transformers that are from the old cartoon, like they brought back the female Transformer, and this is the first time we've had a female Transformer in all the movies.
No,
not true.
And
No,
all
that's not, but-
live action.
Not true.
Unless you're talking about the Decepticon weird lady that was on top of Sam. Is that who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about RC. They had like the 3 sisters all as motorcycles.
right.
Oh, I didn't realize those were females, but yeah. Okay. Well, I meant like first time we've
Tell Blue
got
she's got to like be a little quieter.
cartoon.
She's the original from the original cartoon.
Yeah.
The one that they just brought out last one.
Oh, there's.
But if you're gonna talk about like, hey, they're adding more people, isn't that what they were doing? What Fox was doing with their X-Men films? If you get to go see Wolverine Origin, you'll see Gambit, and we know how great of a film that was. Listen, I grew up a bit with the Transformers, but admittedly, I'm more of a '90s kid. I actually grew up with what you see above me right now. I grew up with Beast Wars, and I still don't want to see this film.
I want to see it. I saw the trailer last night in the theaters when I watched Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't know, it's got me impressed.
Not to mention, that's not the Optimus Primal that I'm used to.
I'll see it, but I'll fall asleep during the Pete Davidson Mirage parts.
Yeah.
I think, but like I said, I think in this case, what you're seeing is the slow death of the movies, because everybody has the general belief.
Isn't Lowe's about to go out of business?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying slow death because it's taken a few years. But the problem is the fact that you have so many people, and myself included, that are just like, if I want to see it, I'll wait for it to come out on HBO Max in a couple months. I'm not going to drop 20, 30, 40, 50, $80 on this to see it because I have to see it right now. I've got too many things going on right now to basically burn the time to go to AMC and basically spend the time listening to a bunch of screaming kids there, screaming, swearing, making out, effing, whatever it is, and while trying to actually watch a movie.
Right. Yeah.
Well, do you even need to go to the movies anymore? Or wait a few weeks? I mean, because I think some films come out with 1 to 2 weeks on streaming.
That's the point.
I forget what it was, but there was a film I did want to see in theaters. But if I want to, I could pay $20 and watch it in my TV room right now.
Creed 3's on digital right now.
Yeah.
That was just in theaters.
And there are certain people that would basically have a how do I put this? A torrent of options to see it other ways, And
to mention Blue Beetle for a second. So the other spot that Blue Beetle was, because I know you said there wasn't really any cartoons, he did make cameos in the Batman Brave and the Bold series that they did.
Okay.
The cartoon that they did with Batman, that's when he did.
Young Justice as well.
The reason why I'm actually excited for this movie is, like you said, a lot of people didn't grow up with the character per se. So to me, it's finally something newer, something that a lot of people don't know the origin story, and I feel like that's what DC's wanting to do, is get things out that people don't really know much of.
Yeah, and the way they presented Blue Beetle in this trailer, it's kind of like a mix of two heroes that we've already seen on screen, Iron Man and Venom.
Right.
There's a nice little correlation between the two, where you have like this pilot, co-pilot sort of thing going on with the Scarab. You definitely have this whole like young kid origin story, which very much harkens back to the original Shazam movie that DC put out, which, say what you will about the sequel, but the first movie was a gleaming light in the Snyderverse. It showed that DC could have fun with its properties and it didn't have to be so bleak. This is along that same style. And yeah, I think the goodwill that we've gotten from the cast that's being presented in this movie, especially, how do you say his name from Cobra Kai?
Zolo Maraduena.
Zolo.
Nice. XOLO. So
right, but I think like Zolo. That's gonna ring off the bell, man. It's like that. This could potentially catapult him into other things, which I definitely want to see him with. It's not like they're just going ahead and getting like a Finn Jones to be Iron Fist. They're actually getting somebody who can be a credible action star to do this.
And you can see from the 5 seasons now of Cobra Kai, he can do his own stunts well. He has the experience, but it's funny to see him, the look that he has here, because it's a little more professional, I guess you saw in the trailer.
Right.
Yeah, he looks like a rich person, to be honest. I don't.
No. Jaime Reyes, he's pretty much dirt poor, but the thing is, he's still trying to get jobs and trying to work and everything. That's why he ends up going to court, probably looking for a job application, and he gets stuck with the Scarab. That's why when you see what's happening with like him and the family when he actually takes it home and opens up the big belly burger box, that place gets trashed.
Right.
So, but yeah, and really, when you think about it, and I hate to pull like this card, but really, how many Latino superheroes are there?
Got a point.
You know, I mean, this is pretty much going to scratch that same itch that Black Panther did for the black community.
Facts.
Is it?
Maybe not as much. I don't think.
Is Miss
Maybe not as much because it's not as well known of a name,
No,
but it's still giving them something to go with.
No.
Is it?
I disagree. Because just by Ryan saying about Black Panther, I would not be surprised if you see the whole theater filled up with Latinas or Afro Latinas in the theater in support of this film.
I think a lot of people are just going to go to see him on screen because he's cute.
I was going to say specifically Latinas.
Zolo is man pretty. Let's call him what it is.
Is it Miss Marvel Latino, or am I wrong on that?
America, whatever.
No.
Yeah.
No. She's Middle Eastern.
Hindu, I think, right?
No, the one that had.
No, she is not.
Wait, Miss Marvel? No, she's.
Latino. No, wasn't she Latino or no?
No,
she was not.
What was she?
She was Middle Eastern.
She's
okay.
Middle Eastern.
My bad.
Yeah.
That's right. Jersey represent. Woo.
That too.
Which, when that movie comes out later on this year, that'll play to a lot of different audiences as well when you got all three Marvels.
They have pushed that movie back like 4 times now.
And there's
I know.
There's rumors we're getting Rogue in that movie.
I could see it. Well, I mean, it would make sense because Rogue got her powers from Carol Danvers, didn't he?
Yes. Put her in a coma.
Yes. Yeah, she was the Jane Doe. So yeah. Now I wonder if Mystique will show up then too.
Well, apparently they're doing like a whole bunch of different things to try to get X-Men into the thing. Apparently, the whole idea of the Thunderbolts is that team is supposed to go to that big statue of Tiamat from the Eternals and try to excavate adamantium from it.
You mean the movie we don't talk about?
I'm talking about the Eternals. I enjoyed it.
I hated it.
It was a little more psychological and adult oriented. Maybe it wasn't your typical superhero movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because if you really actually sit back and read the comic books, I'm not saying y'all didn't, but some people went.
No, at least some of us did. Let's face it.
Yeah.
This is that kind of crew.
Yeah, some of us did our homework.
Yeah, but some people went in thinking, "Oh, it's Marvel. Let's go check it out." Not realize that it's more of a coming out of the box, showing that how the mutants and all the other people were created.
The thing is that with Eternals, it was just pretty much a straight up drama.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't really even a superhero movie. It was just a drama.
It's just
it's right up there with like Cloud Atlas or The Fountain, where it's like it's a dramatic movie with certain supernatural science fiction elements.
Yeah.
But it's not leaning on those elements.
I was gonna say it's like a watered down The Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that, man. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're like, thank you for your getting your approval. But
here's your sign.
Though speaking of Marvel, the other trailer we got was for Secret Invasion with Sam Jackson coming back as Nick Fury.
Yes.
About darn time.
Which, if you want to talk about things that look more like a dramatic movie or a dramatic series, this looks like that. This looks like pretty much something that could have come out of like the Bourne franchise.
Right.
It's just there's a few glimpses of like some alien tech and some green faced alien dudes. But outside of that, this is pure espionage.
I hate to say it, but I don't have a lot of faith in it because at this point, I feel like my Marvel Phase 5 faith has to be restored some.
Of one movie?
No, well, including it really started from Phase 4.
Okay, well, you said Phase 5, so I was just going off what we had.
I mis-explained that. I didn't explain that well. But, I mean, it's been a slow progression downward by and large since the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And it's been, I mean, I think, what was it, Feige that came out and said, we're going to focus, less on quantity and more on quality, which is rough translation for, we know we're fast fooding this crap and it didn't work. So I'm willing to give it a shot here, but I'm also at the same time a little skeptical because at this point we have kind of jumped the shark or rode the bull on Marvel movies.
Have we?
Yes.
What would you consider was the jumping the shark point?
I would almost say a lot of the Disney Plus stuff.
Well, okay. To be fair, yes, they did push out too much.
Here's the thing:
of the
Phase
Disney
4, I
Plus
think, to
stuff.
me, was the jumping the shark.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They restructured and they pushed out shows ahead of when they were supposed to be pushed. Restructured them to go along with movies more so. The Disney Plus stuff was pretty much more of like a knee jerk reaction to the pandemic.
Right.
So I had things been going as they were supposed to have gone, schedule wise, plotting wise, timing wise,
reshoot wise,
it would have been
a lot of it had that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a knee jerk reaction, unfortunately.
But I think that's what abandoned a lot of people, because Endgame, okay, was it perfect? No, but did it end on hit on a lot of emotional good notes? Yeah, it did. So it was almost like the send off. It could have been like the grandiose, most classic send off to the Marvel franchise. If they ended at that point, that would have gone down as a legacy. But now it's like that one star that just keeps taking movies over and over just to basically try and keep themselves in the limelight. And people are like, I'm kind of tired now.
Right. And here's the funny thing. When you actually look at the television series that Marvel put out, which ones were the ones that were probably the most critically lauded or the most successful? The ones that had no tie-in characters from anything previous. The really new stuff. The Miss Marvel. The...
Moon Knight,
Hulk, but
you're
Moon Knight certainly was. And that's because you were able to go ahead and jump into something new with those.
And I mentioned that too back then too. Like, you need to start creating a different universe and stop putting it all in the same dang one. You can basically make better origins. Last night I was reading about Magneto 61,615. Think about if the multiverse stopped there. You could build so many origins in different universes and then tease something to come over. Look at how well it worked with Spider-Man No Way Home. That was not cameos, but it was a stage above like cameo appearances, because they weren't introduced till later on in the movie, but it worked so absolutely well because it teased what everything was. And Sony was brilliant. Sony and Disney were brilliant on how they handled that. But nowadays it's like, okay, we don't know who the Eternals are. We don't know who Shang-Chi is. We don't know who a lot of these characters are. And when you're in a financial situation that a lot of people are right now and trying to keep every dollar that they can while everybody around them is trying to take it from them, people have to be a little more careful right now about where that money's going. And they can't drop 50, 60, 80 or $100 on not only movies, but sporting events. Yankees, baseball season's underway. Ticket sales are already down because people can't afford to keep doing this for a weekend. That's why streaming service, as pricey as it is for so many of them, is a better option, because it's spread out in different bills. You have more options, and people just don't have the passion, I think, for movie theaters in a TikTok world anymore.
Well, JT, for example, we know your distaste for people in theaters. But since you would probably have more of the choice of like streaming something on television, whether it be through Amazon or Disney or whatever have you, what would you say would be like something that would grab your attention and make you be like, okay, I'll watch this for a few weeks? What's going to grab your attention to be like, not necessarily something that you can binge in a weekend, but something that will keep you coming back?
In terms of just streaming, not going to the theater.
Yeah, so in terms of just streaming.
A lot of this stuff that is coming out right now in theaters would be enough for me to catch my attention for streaming if it were a little bit in a better price range. If you're talking in terms of like Secret Invasion here, hey, I was into Loki when that came out. I was into WandaVision when it came out. I was into Mandalorian if we want to go to Star Wars. The problem is the writing just turned to shit real fast on all of them.
Yeah.
Like, if the writing kept up and I believed in them and their quality, I'd still be watching their stuff. But hey, we actually did a watch party on one of their shows, Hawkeye, and how quickly that went downhill.
Yeah,
we tried to watch the book of Boba Fett, and
after you guys did. Oh my God,
it was like a stretch. I admittedly, I didn't bother with. I love Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is one of my favorite comic book characters right now. I didn't bother with that TV series. I didn't bother with She-Hulk. And what other shows have come out besides Secret Wars?
Moon Knight, Captain America, and Falcon.
What If?
I didn't finish. I didn't finish Falcon and Winter Soldier. They weren't good.
She-Hulk was good. I enjoyed She-Hulk. I don't know.
She-Hulk was probably a little more divisive than some of the other shows. I enjoyed it, but
when you have,
then again, I'm apparently the shill of Marvel. It's like I'll pretty much like anything Marvel.
When you have a series called Attorney at Law, and all your writers admitted they've never actually written a legal drama, that's like basically bringing someone in to basically like, okay, write
the people who did Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
That dude, Harvey Birdman's a bit different than She-Hulk. I mean, Harvey Birdman was a parody right from the onset, and everybody knew it.
Well, the problem is She-Hulk is also a bit of a parody, but I hate to say it. I use shows as a way to escape the world when every one of them feels like they need to also display a message. It's like, if it's subtle, I love it. If it's in your face, like most writing is these days, I just don't want to watch it.
Well, okay, give us an example of subtle writing, one that actually did hook you.
I'm still in this one, but Sonic the Hedgehog from back in the day, the Saturday morning cartoon, which was a thing about the environment, but you didn't really know about it. Or how many other action shows back in the day which would teach about racism and sexism, but it was very subtle how it did it, and it got the message across. I'm trying to think of shows, but I think almost all of them back in the day.
X-Men did a pretty good
job. Now
it's
like every one of them's beating you in the face with every message.
I was gonna say, with the She-Hulk show, what I appreciated is almost every single week you got a cameo from different characters.
You mean like Daredevil and his mustard colored costume?
Well, see, the thing about Daredevil, a lot of the problem is also, I'm just going to mention this because this is going to tie in. A lot of it is also advertising for future projects, because Daredevil's now filming in New York. The Daredevil Reborn, because apparently there was pictures found of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin again, who lost to Baby Hawkeye, by the way. Can I point that out?
But there's another show like that only came. Well, I was about to say like that just came out, but that was a decade ago that Daredevil came out on Netflix. But everyone loved that show. They're looking at Reborn because they love that show, but Reborn is not going to be that show. It's going to be Daredevil Light because it's Disney and they're not going to allow the same level of violence.
Go ahead, Rob.
I don't know. I know what you're saying, but the thing that made fans like hopeful is when Daredevil got introduced into the She-Hulk, they did play the next Netflix theme song for
on the right.
For when they introduced Daredevil. So it kind of tells us that we have the same Daredevil in a way.
I was more excited when I saw Daredevil in Spider-Man No Way Home.
And when that scene probably got cut down more than it should have.
And a lot of people don't realize that, at least I didn't put 2 to 2 together until Liz, that Jon Favreau was Foggy in the original Daredevil. So that's
like one.
Well, originally those shows were supposed to be a part of the Cinematic Universe, just like the ABC shows were supposed to be a part of the Cinematic Universe. And at a certain point, Feige just decided, like, nope, branch them off.
Yeah, no, the whoever was managing the television stuff, they were not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah, and then they kind of were shown the door, and Feige took over everything.
Like, you were lucky to get Lady Sif on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But you see what's happening right now with Disney, where they're laying off employees hand over fist right now, where their profits are down, where the Disney Plus subscriber count is down. I mean, to talk about, the streaming service and to actually realize that your sub count is dropping, I mean, that is an absolute red flag. And a lot of it is because of the fact that people got to figure out where to pinch money from, and a lot of people will be like, all right, well, Mandalorian's coming out. All right, I'll watch it and then I'll cancel the series. Except the problem is the Mandalorian view count is down now, because people aren't following. I watched the first episode. I haven't watched any since. I might go back. I haven't yet.
I haven't watched the new season.
I haven't seen the multiple episodes, but a lot of people are giving praise to the actor once I mention the name, everybody's either going to go erg or they love the character. But the actor that played Jar Jar Binks is now a different character in the new Mandalorian series, and he's been getting a lot of praise within the last week.
Yeah, the character he played for that game show back in like 2018, I think it was.
What?
2019, I think.
What was about 2018, 2019?
Yeah, it was like a Jedi sort of like like kids, doing Jedi tricks for like reality game show stuff. And he played that character as Kelleran Beck. He played that character for the show because he was like the main host.
Right.
And the fact that they made that character now canon, and not to mention all the people that always said that maybe Jar Jar is the one that saves Grogu. Technically, yes.
Well, what's funny about it is actually what saved Ahmed Best and Jar Jar, believe it or not, was also Clone Wars, because they showed a lot more story. They showed a lot more intricacies as far as the storyline. They had a multi-part arc which had Jar Jar Binks having to team up with Mace Windu.
Really?
Yeah, and if you imagine that kind of a tandem there, and it worked so hilariously well, where they would not actually talk to anybody, but this kingdom wouldn't talk to anybody but Jar Jar, and not believing that he has any skill set, and the only Jedi that's actually available to go with him is Mace Windu. So you have this weird team up of those two in this like 3 or 4 episodes.
I'm sorry, Sam Jackson would have slapped Jar Jar.
It actually really worked, but it's funny because Ahmed Best, I think a lot of people like Jake Lloyd, a lot of people regret how they treated these actors in a role of, I mean, I'll throw in Rose Tico, whatever her name is, from episode 8.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Thank you. Where you get these people that get the role of a lifetime, and it just destroys them internally, because that's what Twitter does. And it's not the character itself, it's not the performance, it's how it's led. Hayden Christensen had the same problem. He got trashed because he followed the lead of what he was told to do, say, and how to do it. And then the editors killed the whole thing and killed his career. He's not even in the film industry anymore.
Well,
but that's the thing. I mean, they did what they could with what they were given. Just like any of these shows, any of these things that we see nowadays, it's the actors are doing the best they can with what they got. But what they've got is either auteur or it's cookie cutter.
Yeah, and it's a lot more of that. It's more fast food because it's got to compete with every other fast food product out there.
I had a comment, but it was for a subject back.
If you remember.
I will say, as far as Marvel is concerned, there is at least some hope, I think, with what they've been able to start expanding upon. Because I don't know if any of you have watched it, but Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
I haven't watched it.
Fantastic show.
I heard that.
I love that show, man. I've watched every single episode so far when it's come out like days later on Disney Plus, because obviously they do it on Disney Channel, first premiere, and then it comes onto the network later. And yeah, dude, I am loving that. It's kiddie, yes, but like JT was saying, there are definitely some things that the writing has subtly put in to some of the stories. I do like the idea of Lawrence Fishburne voicing the Beyonder. That's pretty nice.
They have the Beyonder in there. Wow.
Yeah, and Angela Bassett is just like, a regular. She's grandma. It's like, that's just awesome. There's a lot of good, when you go ahead and you take a character and you make it your own, because this is obviously something that could still be set in like the grander MCU, but it's an animated show about a smart girl and her dino buddy. It's not going to play into the bigger realm. There's no need for it to play into the bigger realm. And they've been doing fine with what they're doing. And the music, oh my God, the music. Woo! When you're seeing like throwbacks and new hits coming up on this thing, they've got like a signature song for every episode. And it's a banger. It's always a banger.
It, by the way, also has a 7.6 rating on IMDb.
Banger after banger, yes.
Actually, hang on a sec.
I feel like we haven't.
Ryan, it's what now?
What part do you want me to do?
It's what did you call it?
I'm saying, the music, they're hits, they're bangers after banger after banger. Why, you need this clip for something?
No, I just figured I'd have it put full screen for the fun of it. So anyway, so yeah, like I said, 7.6 rating on IMDb, which, if people don't like it, they will downvote the piss out of that.
I feel, IMDb, again, is never actually like the best for critical consensus because they don't really monitor a lot of it. I would rather see what it looks like on Rotten Tomatoes, if anything, because then at least you're getting like more verified people.
But if it's
even though
Rotten
Tomatoes should not be the end all be all.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are people that will put their voice on IMDb who have never seen the thing. And yeah, something about like, a black girl superhero. I'm sure there are plenty of people that have voiced their opinions on IMDb that have never seen it and probably know nothing about it, but they'll still say something.
I have issues against T-Rexes as superheroes.
Exactly. Make dinos great again.
And that's a red T-Rex. I don't need no reds.
I don't want no red T-Rex in my cartoons. So anyway.
Damn commie Rex.
By the way, we got to turn this over to Rob for a quick sec. Or a couple more than a quick sec.
Hey, let's travel over to Rob.
Oh, nice. That was actually really, really, and also, by the way, a Mario reference because it wasn't Mario 3 when you had the flute. But yeah, he was at the Lexington Toy and Comic and Toy Convention. He's wearing the shirt for a reason. But, look at that.
So we were pressed, and yes, I wore this shirt because this is always when I got this back in like the 10th grade, and whenever I wear it, somebody will be like, "Yo, are you wearing the Blue's Clues sweater?" And I'm like, "It might as well be," and that's why I have blue on my shoulder.
Works.
I'm wearing that is at Lexington Comic Con. We got to interview Steve, Josh, and Joe from Blue's Clues, and I found out that Steve did not go to college. That's in our interview. That cracked me up. And what was cool is, so Lexington, they did this new thing this year is where they put a little, you got little ribbons at each different tables. And I got 3 of the Blue's Clues because it was Blue's Clues. They had Forever Red for the Red
Snoochie Boochies.
Yep, for Jason Mewes. And then the Karma is a Funny Thing was from I met Jason Lee, which is from My Name Earl, or I Love Him in Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I did my Chipmunks impression for him. I went, let me see if my voice will let me do it. Oh, I'm Glitter. Yeah, my voice is going out. But
that's more like Stitch. It's like,
well, like I said, my voice is going out, but it's normally sounds just like Alvin and the Chipmunks. And when I did it for him, he's like, yo, how did you do that? And I said, I've been doing it since the first movie came out, which I was in the 4th grade, and I can actually sing like them. So, so Lexington was a blast. I'm about to make my video. I've been sick since Saturday, so really haven't been able to do my thing, but I'm going to be doing that tonight. Got to meet Jenna Frakes, which some of y'all might not be familiar with that name, but that is JDF's daughter. Jason David Frakes passed away back in November. I got her to sign this right by her father. And she wrote on the Stay True. Sweetheart. Very nice, and you could definitely see her dad in her, and it was a great moment. I showed her the selfie of me and her dad, and she gave me a hug. One of the coolest things I picked up this last weekend, and I know I'm moving, sorry, because of my phone's charger, is I have the first appearance of Tinkerbell / Peter Pan in the comics, and I got the original person that was the dancer / actor to be Tinkerbell that they used for the animation for the original Peter Pan movie.
Oh, very nice.
She is,
that person's still alive?
She is
It's gonna be up there, yeah.
She is 93 years old.
Okay.
Sweetheart. Another cool little quick story is so I have this comic signed by John Wesley Shipp, signed by.
Oh, nice.
But what's cool is I got Javier Saltors to sign it, and what was important about him signing is he looks at the book and says that I've been looking for this comic. I guess he had a house flood, so all his stuff got damaged, and they only send him one copy of it. So he's been looking for that. I said, let me go see what I did. So I went to every single vendor that I could find. Found one of the vendors. They had it for 20, but they knew what I was doing with the book, so they said, give me 10, and because they knew I was giving it to the guy. So I gave it to the guy, and he was like, oh my gosh. And what he's gonna do with it is he's gonna frame it up with when he told the story to John Wesley Shipp, because he met him at a convention. John signed a picture, took a picture with him, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna take the comic and frame it with all that stuff.
Nice.
Oh, see, that's nice.
So that was one other cool little thing. And then I don't know if I've talked since Planet, but I will show this off real quick. I don't know if I already did. I can't remember, but this is my comic book day event. I met Ming a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no, we're familiar with Ming.
We know, yes. JT remembers Ming extremely well.
A lot of our shows started with his shared universe.
We actually started, yeah. Well, actually, no, you remember that too.
Yeah.
You remember that, talking about that.
No, I definitely remember
you
that.
were part of us for here and there.
Yeah.
So that means you probably also met CJ with Ming, right?
He might have. I don't know.
CJ would have been there for sure.
I don't know if Chris went or not.
Like, did you see a white guy that kind of looked like Scott but wasn't Scott? Was hanging around with Ming?
By himself.
He was the groomsman at my wedding years ago.
Ming was by himself.
No one ever talked to him.
Yeah, there was no white guy hanging around with him.
No.
Oh, I must have gotten like coffee or something. I don't know.
It's hard to tell those white people apart.
Not that I know, but what I'm excited is I'm meeting Kevin Smith in June, and he's the only comic book man that I need left to sign this, because Ming had all 4 but Kevin's. Last time I met Ming, he had only Ming and Kevin's, but he didn't have any of the others, but he rounded up the 4 autographs for me, and
I will have to play you a video before you talk to him. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he recorded a message for my fiance, now wife.
Okay.
That is not safe for work.
Okay. Yeah. No,
But you will have to mention it to him.
Chris Cullen was actually the reason that whole thing happened. But it's NSFW.
One other cool thing is I met the voice of SpongeBob in Dallas Fan Expo last year.
Good old Tom Kenny.
Buddy the Elf SpongeBob drawn for me, and he wrote Sponge Buddy and signed it, and up top he put, "I know him."
No, I can't do SpongeBob.
VIP party.
Yeah, see, he does it fine. I do it. I sound like a sick dolphin.
I'll have to, and I'll share. I think I don't know if I shared. Did I share you the video ever? I know I told you about it, but did I ever actually send it to you?
Which video is that?
The one me dancing with Tom Kenny.
No, you never did.
Okay, I'll have to send that to you. So I was Buddy the Elf because, like I said, I go to all these events as Buddy the Elf. Sure. And one of his people is like, "Yo, do you want to dance on stage with Tom Kenny?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So his person, it wasn't his agent. I found out his agent got a little mad, according to some people. But it was one of his people that go to every convention. So he picks me. He like brings me over there. I get to go on stage. I dance with him for about 30 seconds on stage until I look back and his agent's like, "Okay, it's time to go." So I did leave off stage, but I have a video that I'll send Scott too that it was funny is, yep. Okay.
I seriously gotta get a costume. This is driving me nuts.
Yes,
It was hilarious. Quick thing is, so when Tom Kenny's like, "We love you," I yelled, "We all love you," and he looks at me, and he realized that I'm the one that said it. It took him a second to dawn, and he's like, "I know him," and I'm like, "I know you," and we said a whole minute of singing.
I have to say though, and this is the big part of this. These guys know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to add to it some stuff they don't. You got Greg Baldwin, the voice of Uncle Iroh and Aku on Samurai Jack, to give us a shout out.
Yes.
But not only that, you also got 4 Power Rangers and also the voice of the original Boo from Monsters Inc.
Yes, which was
that convention. All to give shout outs to the company, which I thought was fantastic.
Because so what we learned is, and then I started having the idea is what we learned is, so some people, even if you're press, you have to ask in advance.
Yeah, I gotta learn that one.
So we didn't know that.
Yes, Scott.
So because they wouldn't do interviews, I said, and Steve, I can't ever say his last name, but he's Rocky in the Power Rangers.
Cardenas, yeah,
Cardenas.
He's he's like, "I can't do an interview, but I'll do a shout out." And then it dawned.
He's in really good shape too, man.
When he did that, it dawned on me. Well, all these people that can't do interviews, I should ask them if they can do shout outs. So I got to do shout outs from all the Power Rangers, Boo, and that was all on Sunday. I was able to capture them all. And then we got interviews from the guy from General Hospital, Cloud from Kingdom Hearts. That's Steve Burton. We got Yuri that plays the PS4 Spider-Man, and he's Ben Tennyson.
Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah.
That I got to post later this week.
We got a interview with him, and he's Ben Tennyson from Alien Force and
From Ben 10, yeah.
Spider-Man. So I said in the interview, I said Swamp Fire, but I realized that was D. Bradley Baker that I found out because I had my Swamp Fire thing, and he's like, I'm not actually that, but I'm better. So, but yeah.
We're gonna have to wrap this up, but I do want to give a thank you out of left field here. The fact that you got Steve Burton got me brownie points in a very unusual way.
Yes.
Okay.
And, we got
Rob, I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to take our spots, man, I will fight.
No.
Let me put it this way. Steve Burton was on General Hospital. Yes. You know who actually watches every episode of General Hospital? My mother-in-law. So as soon as I showed the picture of Steve Burton, she's like, "Oh yeah, that was this guy, and he's he did this, and he did this, and this is what happened, and then he died, and it didn't die." She went off on this laundry list of things that he had been, that this guy had done as a character, and it's like, "Yeah, we just interviewed him," and I suddenly looked really good for my mother-in-law because now she is recognizing people that were getting these things. So thank you. I can take all the points I can get here.
You're welcome. I'm not here to steal the show. I promise.
I see your game, Rob. I see your game.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Don't be trusting that. Don't be trusting the ginger up there. I tell you right now. But
I did mom points too because Steve did a shout out video for my mom at the con before. Nice. He's like, we got to take care of the mom. And so no. But to wrap up, Lexington was a really good experience.
By the way, that's on the sports side. So if you go to Stream Punk Sports, you can find that WrestleMania breakdown. Ryan Day and Kyle went for like an hour and a half on that. So yeah,
it was a long talk, Joe. But yes, we did break down everything WrestleMania, the good, the bad, the ugly, the Shane McMahon breaking his knees thing, everything.
Yeah, I took a full step back. So no, I did. They didn't need me. Like, all right, I'll just post pictures and comments.
But yeah. Just want to give a quick wrap. Yeah, Lexington was a blast. It was one quick thing that I did like that they did that's different from other cons that I've been to is they were 3 levels of stuff. So the first level you enter in is where they had all the comic book people / vendors / they had some attraction stuff like a giant size Appa and a giant size rain.
Yeah.
And then second floor is where all your panels / photo ops were. And then the third floor is where all the celebrities were.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was that impressed me because if you're not there for the celebrities, which if you're not, I don't know why you're going. I'm kidding. I know a lot of people go for the cosplays and go buy things, but I go for the celebrities. So I was down there. So it made it easier meeting the different people than if you were to put them all on the same floor, which a lot of cons do. So to me, I was able to bypass most of my lines. The only person I had to wait for 2 hours was Jason Lee. And I was more waiting for him to get done with his photo op. And
fair. So, all right, gentlemen, we got to wrap this up because it's almost 10.
It's only 9 o'clock for me.
That's why you've got so much energy. We're all sleepy as hell over here.
Rolled since like 6:30. Yeah, we were running like almost 4 hours straight here. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts?
No.
Okay. JT's like, no, I want to be done. Get out. All right, folks, we're going to call it right here. They had to pop out, by the way, but thank you as always to Ryan. Thank you, JT. I appreciate you coming on. Rob, thank you for everything. I appreciate you. And obviously dressing in cosplay in this case, digging the shirt. All you guys appreciate the time. Thanks as always. Take care and be groovy.
Go to sleep.
Yes. Yes.
Playing my game.
The Samuel L. Jackson, go the F to sleep. And by the way,